Hello and welcome to the Dark RPG Hour. All I'm doing is inventory management this time. It's nothing but inventory management, just trying to figure stuff out, sell some stuff, get rid of some stuff, make sure I can beef up my character. That's it. Enjoy, please.
Welcome to the Dark RPG Hour.
Welcome to the Dark RPG Hour.
Hello, and welcome to the Dark RPG Hour.
That if I would have kept going, I probably would have found a dungeon. Then the end of the dungeon probably would have been him. And then he would have been like, here's another quest. You know what I mean? Like these guys are constantly giving quests. I don't know. This is cool. Would I play it again? Yes. There are some games that I would definitely play more than once, and I'm glad they have New Game Plus. Like, I like Borderlands because they all have New Game Plus. Even 3 has New Game Plus, but it's not like 2 where you have to beat it 3 times in order to beat it the proper way. Borderlands 3, you beat the story once, and then you have to beat the DLC, and then you can farm the story if you want to get better weapons. But a lot of the better weapons are in the DLC. DLC weapons wind up being better, so it's like they have more content in the DLC than an actual story, and it's still bigger than 2. And I feel like, doesn't that just make it a better game than 2? That's how I feel. Um, but enough about Borderlands. I like this game too. I like how it's pretty straightforward, and eventually you'll figure things out, like this whole situation with me toggling. And now I've got my bow with health steal, and I was like, dude, I thought I was dropping stuff, but I was probably actually accidentally pressing a square. So yeah, I don't know where that level 2 bow is, but every time I try to socket it, it's there. And I'm like, why is the level 2 bow there? Here's the boots. Got some spells. I don't even know. I've never even tried that. Those are the weapons. It keeps saying I have that level 2 weapon somewhere. Every time I try to go over here to socket it, it says it's still there. But early in the game I had it and I was beasting stuff, and then it just disappeared, and now it's technically there but I can't access it. So when I come here to see all the stuff that I have, it's not here. But if I go over here to see stuff I can socket, it's there. And that's a bug. There's definitely some error. There's definitely something that's wrong. So I'm like, you can't give it to me? But it's level 2. I just want to sell it at this point, or at least put it in a chest. And it seems like there's a chest at the beginning of the game, and now that I'm at the end of the game, I don't have access to that chest. It seems like it's only at the beginning of the game. It doesn't seem like it's in Act 2 or Act 3. It's just in Act 1. But I have that bow, and I wish I could just put it in the chest at the beginning. And I have other bows that are socketed, and I felt like that would be cool if I could put it in the chest, and that's something that I'll probably have to do eventually, is put some of these other bows in the chest. My pets do pretty good damage now. I'm not quite sure. Like, I've got a lot of fish. I know the goldfish was pretty good, and it was rare. But I don't want to keep feeding the goldfish and then it do something that isn't necessarily good. But right now I have an owl, so most enemies can't attack it because it's in the air. And then on top of that, I have the owl summon like a lizard enemy, and then the lizard enemy summons something else. So sometimes I have 2 to 3 pets on the screen at the same time. So sometimes they kill something before I even see it. So I'm like, this is pretty beast. And this is just on the first playthrough. I wonder what would happen on the second playthrough. I'm like, how is 3 better than 2 when it comes to Torchlight? I'm like, and they have Torchlight Infinite now, and that's like a mobile game, but it seems like something they might add to PC. That might be pretty cool. So it just seems logical that everybody says Torchlight 2 is the best. People frown on all the other Torchlights, and I'm like, there's technically 4 at this point. There's Torchlight 1, 2, 3, and Infinite, and technically everybody says 2 is the best one. So I'm like, let me just play 2. It's on PS4. Let me just try it. So yeah, I'm just having some fun with it, and it's not bad. I like it. It's fun. I definitely want to beat the game. Oh look, you can rotate the character. I never stuck with one side of armor. I never tried to get my character geared out because they say you have to farm for that, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna farm. I'm just gonna go mix mash and have like a hodgepodge of armors. Just whatever works. Now, when I do another playthrough, there might be some farming. I might farm. It seems like getting a full set of armor is a good idea. But I don't know if the first playthrough that really matters. But it's cool that I have a lot of situations where there's a bit more resistance to poison and resistance to fire. As soon as I got resistance to fire, they just stopped shooting fire missiles. And I was like, let me get over 100 resistance to fire. And then they just stopped shooting the missiles. They were shooting them a bunch. And then they were like, oh, this isn't really doing any damage. And then they just stopped and they were just like, oh, well, just take this damage. Hopefully I get something else that's socketed so I can put more resistance to fire, because I feel like they said you're gonna fight a dragon, and I'm like, well, definitely need fire resistance. As it stands right now, fire isn't really doing anything much. But when I first got to that battlefield, there's a lot of fire damage from enemies, so I instantly was like, okay, I need to socket something that does fire resistance, and I saw some of the sockets that did 40 fire resistance. I was like, there we go. So then after that, enemies that were doing fire were getting handled, and then they just stopped shooting. They were shooting a bunch at the beginning, and then they just stopped after a while. They just sort of walked into the fire and just sort of got damaged. I was like, great. They just gave up. So at least now I know how to play the game. I don't fully know how to play the game. There's probably way more to the game, especially since there's so many playthroughs that you can do of the game. but definitely into it. I'm sensing I'm getting close to the end. It doesn't seem like there's many more dungeons to go through, so tomorrow I'm gonna try to go to the beginning of the game and handle the mini dungeons. Like the first mini dungeon at the beginning of the game. It seems like there's 2 mini dungeons at Act 3. And I think there's a mini dungeon in Act 2 that I haven't found yet. But I'm not quite sure. I know on certain stages the enemies come back on Act 2 so you can farm. So I'm still pretty high level, so I don't have to worry about that. But I know for a fact that there's a mini dungeon. I didn't know what it was when I first played the game. I didn't look it up. But what you're supposed to do is just defeat all the enemies. There's some enemies that like spawn other enemies. So after a while, you're gonna have to walk around and start taking out the higher level enemies, so the lower level enemies stop showing up, and then the big enemy shows up. And then when a big enemy shows up, you take him out, and then you get a whole bunch of treasure that you probably can't carry with you, and then the dungeon is over. So my goal is to get all the golden items and all the blue items. Golden and blue, that just makes sense. Not quite sure what to go get after golden and blue, but I feel gold, blue, and just leave the green, leave the white, leave the green. I'm going to stock up on health. I've got a little bit of money, so I'm gonna stock up on a bunch of health. It seems like in those situations, having like as much health as you can without like blowing the bank is probably the best idea. And it doesn't seem like you can take all the treasure with you, but it seems like there's a lot of treasure that gets dropped. It's like as soon as you leave there, it's like whatever you got, you got. So I'm gonna sell everything I don't need, get a whole bunch of health, and then start handling some of these little dungeons. That's definitely what's happening next time. But I'm trying to look at my warrior, and it's looking kind of interesting, you know. There's definitely some sort of helmet mask. I've never seen any sort of, it looks sort of futuristic, doesn't really look like a medieval alternate universe, but sort of looks like a gun-toting predator, you know what I mean? So not bad. Not bad. I think it's good. I think it's really good. Just chilling with this thing. So there's some fish. I got health. I got identity scrolls, which it's almost never identify something that I can use. It's always I identify something and it's not even that good. But identity scrolls are in the game. I feel like once I do multiple playthroughs, then you might identify something that's actually good. But the first time around, they're like, nah, I don't think so. Not bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. I think it's good. So, this has been interesting. Not bad. I think it's really cool that this game exists. You know, maybe it's something that I was thinking like there are other games that are a little bit too much. Like some of those Blizzard games are a little too much, depending on which one you play. It's a little bit too much, you know. Um, don't really like it. A little bit too much, a little bit too extreme, and it's less of a game. You know what I mean? Like this is more of a game. I feel. Hopefully, new iterations of what Blizzard comes up with is more of a game, but it seems like some of their games are just one track minded, you know. It's like this is the game, there's not going to be much changes even when there's another version that comes out. But it seems like some of the newer stuff they're coming out with is going to change up the formula. There's like endless games, some of these games, and you just dump thousands of dollars into them, and I'm like, okay, that's not a very good idea if you're trying to save money. Dumping thousands of dollars into a video game that doesn't really look like it's all that great. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. So interesting. I think this is a good loadout. This is a good loadout. Not bad. Not bad. Oh man, oh man. Just seems like a pretty good situation now. So now that I'm close to the end of the game, um, what is my verdict on Torchlight 2? Um, I never really played much of 1, but when I found out that 1 is just like an endless dungeon, there is no end to the game, there's no end story, I was like, that's no good. It's just grinding for grinding's sake. I was like, that's no good. Then I heard 2 has replay value, and you can replay infinitely, but it has a story. I was like, okay, that's good. And now that I've played 2, I'm like, the story is whatever. I'm not really caring too deeply about it. I'm not reading every little nook and cranny. All I know is that there's a bad guy, and you have to stop a bunch of bad guys to get to the main bad guy. So I was like, yeah, okay, maybe that's a good story. Maybe not. Maybe all it needed was a story. It's cool. They got all sorts of steampunk sort of elements. You know, they got dwarves making stuff. They got werewolves. They've got um, a whole bunch of automated robots and bunch of Egyptian tombs, a bunch of stuff like that. So the stuff that is like fantasy 101, so to speak. You know, it's like you gotta have this, you gotta have that, and there's enough variety in the gameplay to have a situation where you're like never really getting bored. I haven't really gotten bored. It's just you know, sometimes after playing for a few hours, I just want to stop, take a break. I'm streaming, so I try to stream for 4 hours. But 3 hours of gameplay and 1 hour of just hanging out. I don't know how much more I got left in the game, so I'm going back and finishing stuff that I passed on. So, yeah, just hanging out. Hopefully, I'll get stronger. I've got 20 health. Probably gonna need more than 20 health. So, yeah, not bad, not bad. Um, Everybody's hanging in there. I've seen people use melee, and the melee option wind up doing more damage, and I feel like it probably does more damage for certain melee options when you do like a dual claw or something, and then you spec it out with a whole bunch of socketed stuff. And definitely, like, you have to farm for armor, you know? So, maybe that's probably the best option. The cool part is, this is a multiplayer game, too, so I'm like, this is one of the best games of all time. In my opinion. I haven't played a bunch of games. There are probably games that are way better, but it's multiplayer, so I could just keep playing and level up my character and then get to a point where, you know, I could probably find somebody else that plays Torchlight 2. I'm like, hey, let's play Torchlight 2. I got a level 5, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit. So, I don't know how that works. What if you're like one level up, or like one new game plus up than somebody else? Can you play a character with them that's already a new game plus up? I know in Borderlands, if I have a character that's like level 50 and that they have a character that's level 20 something, then it won't let me do it, depending on how high of a level you are above. So technically, as far as levels are concerned, I'm level 45. But if I had a character that was, okay, let's just use my character. My character is level 45. If they had a character that was level 20 something or 10 in the teens, or they just started, like, how would I do that? Would I just start over? I mean, it might be good to start over if I had weapons that I could share with my earlier version, which I think I have in the chest in the beginning of the game. So, not bad. I don't think that's bad. It's interesting, I feel. Not bad at all. Oh, man. I haven't beaten the game yet, so I'm not gonna give it a score or a Siskel and Ebert thumbs up rating or anything like that, or like star rating or anything. But I am liking what I'm playing. You know, I've been playing this game for a long time now. I think it's cool. There are newer games that are along the lines of this that are coming soon. Probably gonna play betas, because there's a beta next weekend that I'm not gonna play, but a beta after that, the very next weekend, that I am gonna play, and I'm just going to see if that is a thing that I can do. Most of the time, betas are free, and they don't cost anything to play online with people. I don't know who I'd be able to play with. I don't have a lot of people beating down my door necessarily. There was a stranger guy that was tried to add me as a friend, and I was a little miffed, to say the least. They used some sort of weird zombie skull avatar, and I'm like, that doesn't seem very pleasant. Don't really think I'm gonna roll with them. So yeah, there you go. me check out the stats of this bow. Because it seems like I could equip another bow. But this has plus 20 knockback and it does health steal. This also does health steal, but this does 38 health steal. So I've got multiple bows that I could use in my second lineup. In my first lineup, it's like I just use whatever the best pistol is for the job. So, not bad. Minus 53 to armor on hit. That's pretty good. On hit. So, dudes are getting melted. Dudes are getting melted. And that's just the one gun. Here's the other gun. And it's poison damage and bonus to, look at that bonus to crit damage. Bonus to crit damage. That is huge. That is huge. Oh my goodness. That is huge. Bonus to crit damage and attack and armor damage. Whew. Those are some really really feisty pistols, I would have to say. Not bad. Not bad at all. I want to see what goes on with these spells. Let me look at this, because I was always thinking like maybe this will be something I could use. Knowledge it reduces the purchase of prices at merchants, enchanters, and gamblers, and improves the sale prices of your own goods. Only one rank of fighter may be equipped at a time. Okay, that's good. Makes things cheaper. That'll be good to use. Caster draws a knife from any foe struck for the duration. Okay. Summons a suicidal zombie to poison your foes. Slow moving explosive ball of flame from the caster's hand. Oh, that's like not for pistols. Wave of energy expands outward, shattering delicate objects and sometimes breaking shields. Caster whirls. This is like that's basically stuff that that's basically stuff that's not really for a guy or girl holding pistols. That grants chance to gain a burst of an attack. Movement and attack speed upon being struck. I wonder about that. Can I use that? Or is this for pets? Okay, well, I don't know if I did it. Ugh. It seemed like that was situations for the actual pet. I don't think that was stuff for me. But my pets are already pretty powerful, so pretty powerful owl, so yeah, not bad. Got a pretty powerful warrior type. Gonna use the portal to head back to the beginning of the town next time I play. I mean, beginning of the game next time I play, and there's some dungeons. I'm gonna go through there, some of the smaller ones, because I didn't realize. I thought it was just optional, but it technically is optional. But it is considered a dungeon. So if you want to complete the game beating all dungeons, then you have to beat it. So I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm gonna try the easiest one first, so I can get a hang of what it's like to actually beat one. Not bad, not bad. Whew. Man, what a day. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Just trying to make things work, you know? Trying to move forward. So, oh man, I just trying to make it. But yeah, I do like this game. Definitely gonna play and finish it. There is a beta for a similar game that I may play that beta. It's looking good, like I'm probably gonna play that beta. It might still be at 9 when I play it. It might be later than 9. I don't know. But definitely gonna play Torchlight 2 tomorrow. Seems like a very good idea. Definitely going to check that out. And gonna have some fun with it. So yeah. Hopefully whoever's in the chat will join me tomorrow. Just check out what's going on. It's gonna be a bunch of single room dungeons. It's gonna be a whole bunch of dudes trying to jump. And I'm like, oh, they trying to jump. When they trying to jump you, it makes it a lot harder, but I've got a lifesteal option, and I've got a lot of damage and resistance that I didn't have before. So yeah, it's something that even when you get jumped, if you run away from getting jumped and keep shooting and try to take out the guys that are like summoning the creatures, you know, you gotta kind of walk around and find those guys, then you'll make it. So I'm probably gonna need like 40 health on the first one. So it's a good thing I got some money so I can go back and buy the health. Let me check. How much money do I have? I've got like 20 health. I don't think I could get 40. I got less than 2 grand. Oh man. We got problems. I'm gonna try my best to get as much health as I can, but I'll probably only be able to get 25. Most of the time I just let myself lose in the dungeon because I don't want to spend all the health packets. But now I'm getting to a point in the level in the game where there's not much left, so I'm like, well, let me go back and spend all the health just to beat some of these side dungeons. So yeah, my pets are more powerful too, so, and I can do an area of effect. That helps a lot. Not bad. I think it's pretty good. So definitely tune in next time. More gameplay. Next weekend I'm gonna try to play the Exoprimal beta, and the weekend after that I think there's another beta. So tomorrow more Torchlight 2, next weekend Exoprimal, weekend after that maybe another game, then back to Torchlight 2. So definitely tune in tomorrow for the last Torchlight 2 for a couple of weeks. So yeah, thanks for watching. Tune in next time for the Dark RPG Hour. Alright, later.
Look at that. Such craftsmanship. Hello, weakling. Welcome to the Dark RPG Hour. Are you ready to get violent, gory, disgusting, bloody? Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Now, you need to bend over so I can tear that ass wide open and make tomato soup of it. Then we'll see just how ready you are.